Hello there everyone, it is Toby from TIJ Music and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing off my LP collection for a certain group. Today we're going to be showing off my LPs of the Michael Schenker Group. Now I've searched for Michael Schenker Group on YouTube and haven't really seen much music content, and I think they're a band that are massively underappreciated. Of course, the name Michael Schenker, huge name, performing with UFO, Scorpions and of course M.S.G amongst other acts, and I know Contraband were one, and he's done a lot of solo stuff, but today I'm going to focus on the Michael Schenker Group, and I haven't done a video like this before showing off my collection of an artist, so if you want to see more of this let me know, because I do have quite a vast collection of records and CDs, so if you want to see, I don't know, my Queen collection, my Rainbow collection, my Bruce Springsteen collection, for argument's sake, my Judas Priest collection, let me know down in the comments. But what's brought me on to doing this video for M.S.G is because of the lack of content on YouTube, and B, because I was sorting out my iTunes library. Over the last few weeks in lockdown, I've been sorting out my iTunes library, getting everything right, because I like to have just, if you like, normal albums on my library, if that makes sense. So if the Michael Schenker Group album was on there and there were 10 tracks and 10 bonus tracks, I'm not somebody for the bonus tracks. I would much rather just have the 10 original tracks on my library. So I've had to sort that out. I found a lot of omissions actually in my library throughout this process. I've got albums and albums and albums to try and download or get from somewhere at least to fill the library and make some of these artists' catalogues complete. And I was going through Michael Schenker Group, and I knew they'd done 4 albums from 1980 to 1983, the live album as well in 82, and I was just looking for the discography and I noticed this big ton of albums. He's done 6 albums with M.S.G since, and there are some albums that I haven't got here for some reason. Michael Schenker Fest, wow. I listened to the first half of their Revelation album last night. Pew! Unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. He's got Graham Bonnet, Robbie McCauley, Gary Barden and Dougie White all on vocals. It's brilliant. It honestly is brilliant, and if it wasn't for the internet, I'd have never found that out. So absolutely fantastic. There's a hell of a lot of albums that I haven't got, so I'll talk through those as well. This is kind of a record collection / what I plan to do in terms of Michael Schenker listening in the future. And obviously, if you like this video, then I will do reviews of these albums in the future. But there's a huge list of albums waiting to be reviewed, so you might have to wait a little while. But apart from the rambling, one more thing. Looking through last night, and Michael Schenker Fest. And Michael Schenker Fest are going on tour. Now, I know with this coronavirus pandemic that, it's a bit dodgy with booking tickets, but I'd had a date in the 15th of April, rescheduled to December, for somewhere quite near me. They're playing 2 shows, one in Leeds and one in Wolverhampton, which is about 10 miles away from me. And I thought, I don't believe this. I do not believe this. The ticket's quite reasonable as well, £38 British, which, well, I thought that was pretty decent. So I haven't booked the tickets yet. It's at KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton, which is something to do with KK Downing of Judas Priest. But yeah, if pandemic and all that's washed away by then, that's definitely a concert I'll go and see, and I'll see at the time. I'll do a concert review for you, but without any further ado, I have got 7 records to show you today. A few from the original era and one later one. But let's get into it, shall we? So first off, we have the first Michael Schenker Group album. Michael Schenker Group, formerly of UFO. Now, I got into Schenker Group because, as a lot of you will know, my dad is my big music influence when it comes to hard rock, at least. The track list on the back: Armed and Ready, Cry for the Nations, Victor of Illusion, Bijou Pleasurette, which is a instrumental track, Feels Like a Good Thing, Into the Arena, another instrumental, Looking Out From Nowhere, Tales of Mystery, and Lost Horizons, produced by Roger Glover. That's the Michael Schenker Group, and then again, formerly of UFO, Michael Schenker. And of course, Michael's brother Rudolph was one of the big players in the Scorpions band. I got into Schenker because my dad listened to this album in the 80s, early 80s, in 80 when it came out. It'd be great if I could put this back in, but I'll keep talking and try and get it back in. It's because it's balancing one on my knee. Right. Yeah, back in the day, my dad listened to this, and he came out with a comment a few years ago that he thought Schenker was a one-hit wonder. With Armed and Ready and Cry for the Nations, the 2 big singles from this album. So that's all I thought Schenker was. I took my dad's opinion for a few years. And then I realised there were a few more albums, and they are very good. But first off, before I show you those, here is a 12-inch single my dad bought back in the day as well, which is the Michael Schenker Group, Cry for the Nations. On the A side, we've got Cry for the Nations, and on the B side, we've got a double B side of Armed and Ready and Into the Arena, and perform live at the the Hammersmith Odeon, London, and at the Apollo, Manchester. I knew it was there somewhere. So we've got pictures of Schenker on the front, Gary Barden, and other players. Absolutely brilliant. I don't think I've listened to the 12-inch actually, but obviously it's on the album. So let's have a quick look. How long is it? Apologies about the cut there. I was interrupted. I was going to have a look at how long the track is on the 12-inch. So we've got Armed and Ready live and Into the Arena nearly coming in at 9 minutes in total, and then the first track at 5 minutes and 8, which I think is roughly the same as what it is on the album. So it might be a little bit of an extended cut, a little bit dusty this, but you know, it's in pretty good nick. It's been well looked after by my dad over the years. So. A good 12-inch single to show you from the album. And then we move on to 1981. The problem is there's no sleeves on these, so it is a bit temperamental. Again, these are a little bit old, so try and get this back in safely. But then we move on to 1981, and I was talking a little bit earlier about how my dad thought Schenker was a one-hit wonder. And just quickly, that album there is the only one that my dad had originally. The rest of them I have bought since then. I actually got all of these in a bundle on eBay for £13 for the 5. Absolute bargain. And first off is what I think is the Michael Schenker Group's finest achievement. Their second self-titled album, if you like, but a little bit simpler this time, just titled M.S.G. Now, there's some brilliant tracks on the Michael Schenker Group album, the album from 1980. The 2 tracks I mentioned already, you know, they don't really put a foot wrong, but this album is absolutely awesome. Ready to Rock, Attack of the Mad Axeman, On and On, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, particularly side 1, is fantastic. Obviously the group you can see on the front there. We've got Schenker, Gary Barden, who else is in the group at this point? Cozy Powell, of course, Chris Glenn on bass, and Paul Raymond on keyboards and guitar. It's quite funny because I was watching some of the videos from the Revelation album yesterday, and I have to say, Schenker doesn't quite look like that now. He's 65 now, which is amazing. But I suppose if this was at 1981, that's about right. But yeah, great album. And I think this is probably Schenker's finest achievement. So that is the M.S.G. album from 1981. Again, all of these, I think at least all of these, were on the Chrysalis label. And I think at least all British pressings. I could be wrong, but I have catalogued them on Discogs. So I think they are British pressings, I'm fairly sure. Next up, and again we're going in chronological order, this is the live album. It's a good live album. Is it a double? I think it's a double, isn't it? I don't like to put the records in, you see, with the cover. So as you can see, I've got the 2 records outside of the cover, and then I can just get the cover out easily. And then the idea is when you get the records out, you don't get the cover out, and vice versa. So this came before the 3rd album. This was the last record, at least for now, which Gary Barden was on. One Night at the Budokan, with Armed and Ready, Cry for the Nations, Attack of the Mad Axeman. But I Want More, again from the 2nd album, Victim Illusion and Into the Arena. So 4 tracks from the 1st album, 2 tracks from the 2nd. And then on side 3, On and On, Never Trust a Stranger, and Let Sleeping Dogs Lie. Those are all from the 2nd album. And then side 4, an instrumental, Lost Horizons from, of course, the 1st album, Doctor Doctor, UFO Classic, and Are You Ready to Rock, the final track from the 2nd album. So, same group here, Gary Barden, Chris Glenn, Michael Schenker, etc, 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 with Cozy Powell as well, and Paul Raymond. I want to say Paul Raybold, no idea why, but there we go, that's One Night at the Budokan. Good album, and actually, the last Schenker Group album I've listened to in full. Because these 3 albums, and again, this is why I wanted to talk about it a little bit today, what I plan to listen to in terms of Schenker, because I've got a hell of a lot of Michael Schenker stuff to listen to. And I mean, this was just a bargain, you know, but £13 for 5 records, you can't go wrong, can you? You really can't go wrong for that off eBay. It was £10, £2.90 postage, absolute steal. Now, the 3rd album from 1982 has got Graham Bonnet on vocals. What's his face? Gary Barden left the group by this point. Again, on the new albums, Graham Bonnet, Robbie McCauley will come to in a little while, and Dougie White and Gary Barden are all on the album. But this is the Michael Schenker Group Assault Attack from 1982. I've watched a few videos, and to be fair, one creator who does cover a little bit of Schenker Group is Sea of Tranquility. Again, Pete's brilliant from Sea of Tranquility, and he covers the Schenker Group, and he quite likes this album. I know this is a very good album in his book. He's done I think he's done an album war between this and Down to Earth by Rainbow, which of course was the Rainbow album that Graham Bonnet was on. And admittedly, I haven't heard any of this album, and this is very much in the to-do list. So I know that Assault Attack's on it, and Samurai, he talks about that a lot. Assault Attack, Rocky to the Ground, Dancer, Samurai, Desert Song, Broken Promises, Searching for a Reason, and then the instrumental track at the end also. Graham Bonnet on vocals, Chris Glenn on bass guitar, Michael Schenker on lead guitar, and Ted McKenna on drums. All keyboards played by Tommy Eyre. So obviously they've just said that special thanks for the past to Cozy Powell and for the future to Gary Barden. So only 2 remaining members from the original band are on this one. Michael Schenker and is it Chris Glenn? Yes, Chris Glenn. Interesting, very, very interesting. Of course, Chris Glenn on bass guitar. So this is one that I'm very looking forward to listening at some point. But as we all know, there's that many albums out there that you just pick one sometimes and you listen to that, and then albums like this get forgotten sometimes. But that's from 1982, Assault Attack. Then the year after, this is the final Michael Schenker Group album before they switched, if you like, and I've got one of those. This is from 1983. I believe I'm right in saying that Gary Barden is indeed back for this album. This is, yes, it is 1983's Built to Destroy. Not, I don't think this is the most brilliantly seen album. 3 of the original members on here, Schenker himself, obviously, Gary Barden and Chris Glenn, and then Ted McKenna from the previous album, and Andy Nye on keyboards. On this album, there's meant to be some pretty good tracks. Captain Nemo, I know people like. Rock the Nights Away, I'm going to make you mine. The Dogs of War, Systems Failing, Captain Nemo, Still Love That Little Devil, Red Sky, Time Waits, brackets for no one, and Walk the Stage. I'm looking forward to listening to that one at some point. Again, I haven't quite got round at this point. The first kind of proper inner sleeve, if you like, rather than just a generic sleeve, with the band on both sides and then the lyrics. I think the one from 80's got an inner sleeve like this, hasn't it? I'm fairly sure, 'cause it's got the lyrics in. But yeah, this will be good to have while I listen to the album. And again, this is one of those from that 5-album bundle for £13 British. So finally, again, I knew about all these albums. I haven't got Rock Will Never Die, which was the final Schenker album, which was live. I haven't got that one. But there is one album from the Macaulay Schenker Group that I've got. Now, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea that there was a Macaulay Schenker Group. Just thought that they'd called it a day after 1983, and that was it. But over the last few weeks, I've really learned a lot. I knew there was a Macaulay Schenker Group, but there are 6 albums of Schenker: Written in the Sand, The Unforgiven, Be Aware of Scorpions. Again, apologies if you haven't watched one of my videos before. My notes are there, so apologies if I don't maintain eye contact. And Be Aware of Scorpions from 2001, Arachnophobiac 2003, Tales of Rock and Roll 2006, and In the Mist of Beauty from 2008. And then there's a few Michael Schenker Fest albums and a few albums from Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock, all on the list to listen to. I've got a lot of listening to do with Schenker, which is brilliant. I've listened to a little bit of this, and I couldn't be more complimentary about it. This is Robbie McCauley and Michael Schenker, the new venture for M.S.G, while they were known as the Macaulay Schenker Group. Of course, Michael and Robin both on the front of the LP. Again, this is another one with a very nice inner sleeve. The band on the front changed quite significantly from back in the day. Of course, you've got Michael, Robin, and then a whole bunch of new players: Mitch Perry, Rocky Newton, and Bodo Spoff. And I've listened to 2 of these tracks from the album: Give Me Your Love and Here Today, Gone Tomorrow. Quality, really good stuff. But I've got a little bit to listen to off that album yet. I think there's 9 tracks. 5 tracks on side 1. 5 tracks on side 2, beg your pardon. And on side 1, another 5. So there's 10 tracks in total. Very, very interesting. But yeah, I just thought I'd show off some of these albums today. The back cover of the LP I'll show you in just a second. But these are in pretty good condition. I was very happy with them when they came, and I was very surprised because it's not exactly the sort of group that you would expect to see on eBay, especially in this amount. Fair enough, you've got an album or 2, but very peculiar you see an album like this. I don't know, perhaps somebody, God forbid, has passed away or something along the lines of that, and somebody's giving away those records. I'm not absolutely sure, but I know I had a brilliant buy there, and that is my Michael and Macaulay Schenker Group collection. I don't really think there's anything else I'm too bothered about getting on LP. There are 2 more Michael Schenker albums, which are Save Yourself and another self-titled album called M.S.G. Very confused now how many self-titled albums they have. So just to quickly go through the collection once again. The Michael Schenker Group, formerly UFO. The 12-inch single, Cry for the Nations. Another album, I think probably their finest achievement, the 1981 album, M.S.G. The 82 live album, One Night at the Budokan. Their 82 studio album, Assault Attack. Their 83 studio album, and final one is the Michael Schenker Group until written in the sand in 96, Built to Destroy. And finally, from the Michael Schenker Group in 87, Perfect Timing. But if you enjoyed that, make sure to let me know down in the comments. I'm more than willing to do more of these, because I quite enjoy going through the collection and just having a chat about what I want to listen to in the future. Because even my Queen collection, which is massive, well, I wouldn't call it massive, but it's certainly bigger than this. You know, I haven't listened to all of their albums, and that's something I plan to do. So it's a good way to document the records and physical stuff I've had, as well as, of course, talk about my plans for listening to the group. And I thought because quite a lot had come of M.S.G, etc., and just Schenker in his groups as a whole last night, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about Michael Schenker a little bit. The first video of M.S.G on the channel, and it's fair to say we'll have a review of this, definitely, and also a review of this at some point, and hopefully reviews for the other albums when and if I get to listen to them. But if you enjoyed that, leave a like, really helps. Comment down below your thoughts as well. There are several album reviews, top 10s, etc. on the channel. There will be an end screen at the end of this which will show you 4 videos that you can potentially go and check out. There's my most recent upload on there, a video that's apparently best for the viewer, and 2 videos I've picked for you that you might be interested in. So any of those you want to continue the viewing experience at TIJ Music with would be absolutely awesome. But if you are watching this during this terrible pandemic, remember to continue to take care, stay safe, because it is troubling times, but fingers crossed in this country we are coming out the other side of it, fingers crossed. But anyway, thank you for watching. I've been TIJ Music. Remember, stay safe, thank you for watching, keep rocking, and I'll see you all later. Ciao for now.